Hey, what's up team? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology. This video is on Maui from Moana, the ESFP.
It's actually Maui, shapeshifter, demigod of the wind and sea, hero of men. I interrupted from the top, hero of men. Go.
And in this video I'm going to be talking about the different cognitive functions and the cognitive function stack that's going on within the ESFP's bits and pieces in their psyche. So if that doesn't really make sense to you, I'll be explaining it throughout this video through some metaphors and little connections to help you get to understand it a little bit quicker. If you want to deep dive into it, then you gotta spend the time deep diving into it. But this should help get a general sense of what's going on with the ESFPs. If you haven't seen Moana, you should watch it. It's a good movie. That's about it. So getting started, the dominant function. Extroverted sensing is a perceiving function. So it looks out and tries to pick up information. It doesn't assess it. It doesn't attach like a value judgment to it. It's not like this is good, this is bad, but it's like this is water, this is sky. You know, there's no attachment to it.
Maui!
A boat! A boat!
So it's using your senses, trying to see what you can pick up with your sight, sound, taste, touch, all that stuff. Okay, so it's very real. It's tangible. It's attached to the real world. And extroverted sensors are going to act instinctively to impact situations and the current situation, the here and now. And let's talk about that a little bit. Maui says, for 1,000 years, I've only been thinking of keeping this hair silky, getting my hook, and being awesome again. Extroverted sensing is attached to the aesthetics of things. You know, if you're an ESFP, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You appreciate the beauty of things. Like, this is a nice thing to look at. I want that. I want that in my life. Obviously, there's more to it. It gets deeper than that. But a lot of times they want to seek those novel material items as well as novel tangible experiences. Like whatever is going to kind of give them that boost of sensory happiness, they're going to go after. And we can also see this, well, first with like the hair, the bod. Like, he's a massive dude. He keeps, care of himself, and he's concerned with how he comes off visually as well to other people. And this isn't saying he's full of himself, but extroverted sensing kind of wants that. It's a dominant compulsion. It's a pull to do that. He likes to ride the waves of life. And extroverted sensors definitely do that. They're willing to happily embrace whatever comes at them. And this kind of brings out this explorer style. They want to explore the physical world, not the ethereal world, right? They're attached to the physical world. Like, Maui pulls up islands, he lassos the sun, he fights giant monsters.
It's Maui time!
These are all kind of real world things. And he wants to adventure out there and take in all that he can, all that sensory goodness, which is seeking material novelty and new experiences, excitement, stimulation, devouring, all the sensory aspects that he can, and hey, the chicken as well. But extroverted sensors definitely live to eat for the most part. And, that kind of comes up a little bit. Extroverted sensing as a brain style, like an extroverted sensing brain's patterns are connected to this kinesthetic intelligence, crisis response, and you can kind of see this with him waiting on an island for something to come his way and then to pounce on that, which is also probably one of the biggest fears of an extroverted sensor, is to be stuck with nothing new to do on an island in the middle of nowhere. But going on, we have the auxiliary function, introverted feeling. This is going to help support Maui and give him some more focus, some more depth. An introverted feeling is a judging function. It's a rational function, and it's used to kind of build an understanding of who you are based on your values, your beliefs, kind of your identity and the identity of your soul in that sense. And it seeks internal harmony, and it's pretty cool, if I may say so myself. So as a metaphor to understand this, we have Mini Maui. I mean, that is his conscience, essentially. It's this little dude over his heart that is helping guide him. It's the rational side, it's the compassionate side of him. And it stops him from leaving Moana on the island. It hugs him when he's feeling down. It acts as his conscience. And it helps him also recover his confidence when he loses the ability to transform. And I'll be talking about that within the inferior function. But we see like introverted feeling is expressed through the extroverted functions. Extroverted thinking, the tertiary, and extroverted sensing, the dominant function. It's a contained depth of feeling. It's not an expressive sense of feeling. And so we can see one of the lyrics from the song. He says, "And the tapestry here in my skin is a map of the victories I win. Look where I've been, I make everything happen. Look at that me, Mini Maui, just tickety-tapping." So introverted feeling is contained within him. It's contained and restrained within his victories, which is an extroverted thinking type thing. But, those victories, those outer challenges that he's overcome are the ones that he generally wants to show the world, and he wants to protect and keep Mini Maui safe for the most part when things are going well. But like I was saying, this gives him depth. It gives him support to do the humane thing, and we see that a lot throughout the movie. Going on, extroverted thinking, the tertiary function, is about organizing ideas and things in the outer world. It's another judging, decision-making function. Tells you what you should do in a situation. And this one is on logic. Outer world logic. What can people see and understand? Like empirical evidence and measures and, those kind of things. And effectively organizing the world and then going through the steps to reach a goal. And so the metaphor for this would be his style as a wayfinder. He orients himself in physical space and navigates through that to reach his goal. And this is definitely a strength if it's used well. This allows him to clearly explain to Moana how to sail, how to wayfind and judge where you are based on the stars. It helps him control the boat and guide himself and Moana to where they're trying to go. It's very practical in that sense. It's not like that Mini Maui, who is not necessarily doing anything in the outer world, but it's controlling his inner world, right? But this is a tertiary function, so it's not generally the healthiest, and it's kind of overinflated a lot of times. And we can see this come out a little bit when the idea that he's stuck on an island in the middle of nowhere. He doesn't have an external plan. He's just waiting for something to come to him and then act on that. Also, he kind of comes off as controlling a bit when he's telling Moana how to live and how to steer her life. This is extroverted thinking and kind of introverted intuition coming out there to guide. But it's not necessarily the healthiest way. So going on from there, we have the inferior function of introverted intuition. And this is... Introverted intuition helps you see kind of the larger picture and the implications. It helps you synthesize insights and kind of piece together that abstract side of the world and see where things are going. It helps you reframe your understanding of things and kind of ask novel questions and unique questions to understand the situation. Like, well, what if this was actually the case? Then that would mean this and this and this. Is kind of like a higher perspective in that sense. And so the metaphor for this is we have the good stuff. We have the hook, and we have the abilities that it gives him to shapeshift and transform himself in order to match the situation. And the hook I consider actually extroverted sensing and the abilities it offers to be introverted intuition.
Maui, shapeshifter, demigod of the wind and sea.
We have, this physical treasure. This is the dominant function, remember? The physical treasure, big, it's powerful. It is the symbol of what is going on with Maui, a symbol of his strength and his kind of dominant style. And he says, even without my hook, I am nothing. So this shows how important it is to him. But this also connects to that inferior aspirational function style of introverted intuition. This is kind of the creative side of his transformations as well. Like, he turns into a shark head, and Maui can do everything but swim, and introverted intuition kind of gives him that one little missing piece as well that lets him swim, lets him do more than he could as a human. Turns him into a hawk and gives him a higher perspective and lets him do other things. With extroverted thinking, it could be him transforming, shapeshifting into a whale and using that to splash te kā. Kind of logical use of the environment in order to get your goals. And as an inferior style, which is kind of how it usually comes out with a lot of people because it's suppressed, we have the idea that he gets down on himself about his lack of ability to affect the situation. Like, he sees the current context, the current reality, and has to go with it. Especially without his hook, he doesn't feel like he can do anything. And he feels incomplete when he can't transform himself into what he needs to be. He feels that also the abstract power held within the hook, when it's broken, is something that he can't possibly recover. Like, it's just gone. And that comes up a lot of times too, as an inferior function, seeing the negative side of things too. So it's a balance back and forth, But the more awareness you have, the better you're going to be at dealing with it, and the more you're going to be able to catch yourself when you're in a bad state, So for growth, we need to remember to connect to mini Maui, connect to mini you. If you got a tattoo a little you on your chest, do that. But I know that my ESFP friend says that tomorrow him is going to be upset with today him. And that's because he's not listening to Mini Maui, who's guiding his conscious and hugging him and, making sure that he does the right thing connected to who he is as a person.
I'm not going on a mission with some little girl.
This is my canoe, and you will journey to different again.
Did not see that coming.
Use your Mini Maui, and then you can go out there and guide other people and help other people, because that's something you want to do. I know that. You'll have this stronger ability to help other people, to guide them to where they need to be, to save the world, and to regain your ability to transform yourself in the wider sense of the whole thing. Like, you won't just be at the whim of every wave that comes in. You'll be able to ride the wave, and you'll be able to dodge the wave, or fly above the wave, or go under the wave, instead of just each one hitting you and you kind of slowly drowning and taking in all that water in the ocean. And I would like to thank both Jesse and Twinkle for being awesome supporters of this channel. Thank you very much, helping me continue to go out there and make content that hopefully helps more and more people, and we can fix some of the problems within this world together. All right, so keep up the lifelong questing. Good luck, have fun, and peace.
Really? Blow dart in my butt cheek.